Today we're going to be making fish tacos, and the fish we're going to be using is a cod. Now I think a cod is the perfect fish because it's just flaky enough and sturdy enough to hold within the batter. The tortillas we're going to be using are going to be homemade corn tortillas. I think the flavor of the corn really complements the flavor of the fish, especially with the batter and the sauce we're going to be using, which is a chipotle based sauce. Now the ingredients are, for the fish we're going to be using cod. For the batter you're going to need all-purpose flour, some baking powder, some cayenne pepper, salt and pepper, and some sparkling water. Now the sparkling water is really important because that's what's going to give it that nice airiness and the crunch of the batter. For the sauce we're going to need sour cream, some lime, salt, pepper, and some canned chipotles. Now for the coleslaw we're going to need finely chopped white cabbage and carrots, some garlic powder, lime, sour cream, mayonnaise, and some salt and pepper. And for the corn tortillas, it's important that you have masa harina flour. Now this is an instant corn flour mix, which is going to make the perfect corn tortillas. And to top it all off, just some fresh cilantro on top. All right, let's get cooking. Now in a medium-sized bowl, you want to put your masa harina flour in. I'm going to be using 256 grams, which is enough to make about 18 corn tortillas, depending on how big you roll them out. Now you want to have a couple teaspoons of salt in there. Now for 256 grams of flour, you're going to need about 340 milliliters of hot water. With your hand, you just want to mix it for a couple of minutes until it forms a nice dough, and then you want to place it into a fridge, wrapped in saran wrap for about 30 minutes.
Now after it's been in the fridge, you want to take it out and break it into 18 individual golf ball sized pieces. With a tortilla presser, place some baking sheet or plastic in between the insides of the press and place the ball of tortilla in the middle. Press firmly but not too firmly. You don't want to make the dough too thin, otherwise it will be really difficult to place in the pan. Toast them for about a minute on each side until they get these nice brown spots. Then wrap them in some towels or place them in a bread basket to let them steam. Now, this is part of the cooking process since it'll make them soft and floppy, preventing it to break when bending it.
Now the next we're going to be making is the sauce. Now the sauce complements the fish by bringing that smokiness from the chipotles and the creaminess from the sour cream and the sweetness from the lime.
Place 6 of the canned chipotle peppers into the blender, 3 tablespoons of sour cream, a squeeze of lime, salt and pepper. Blend it until smooth for about a minute or two. For the coleslaw, you want to have finely chopped thin strips of white cabbage and carrots. You want to add 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of sour cream, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, a squeeze of lime, and season with salt and pepper to taste. Then mix well with your hands. I know carrots are not traditional in this, but I find the extra crunch from them really nice, and it adds another texture to the tacos. For the batter, I'm using about 300 grams of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt and pepper, a tablespoon of cayenne pepper, and roughly around 300 to 500 milliliters of sparkling water. Mix this well with a whisker, and if the mix gets too dry, you can always add some more sparkling water. Now you want to get a pretty light consistency, such as this. This is to ensure a crispy and thin batter. All of this is for about 8 2-inch size fish pieces. Next, coat the pieces of fish and remove any excess batter, then deep fry them at 176 degrees Celsius for about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm using canola oil, but you can use whatever deep frying oil you want. Now it's important to do these in batches of 3 to 4 because you don't want the fish to stick together. Afterwards, place the fish on a wire rack before assembling your tacos.
there you have it, fish tacos. It's so crunchy, extremely flavorful. The batter is so light, the sauce is very tangy, complements the fish really well, and it's just an absolutely perfect taco.